What's up, squad? It's Jack. I know I haven't uploaded in a while, but that's okay. I'm here at my grandparents' house in Maine. I want to talk about how I've been off social media for a year, how it's affected me, any changes I've noticed, and just my experience with it. I've been shooting the landscape up here by my grandparents' house in Maine, and I hope you enjoy some of that footage as I talk about this. Be all good. All surviving this winter as it turns into spring. I'm currently filming this during a snowstorm right now. Beautiful out. Yeah, so about a year ago, I was struggling with a few things with myself, and I decided to delete all of my social media because, I don't know, part of me kind of felt like a lot of the stresses in my life were coming from that. So I felt like I should get rid of it, and I did. First social media I ever got was Instagram when I was 10. I don't know why I was that young on social media looking back on it, but I didn't know any better. You know, this was fucking 2012, so, you know, I was 10 years old when I first joined Instagram. Thankfully, my mom made my account private. It kind of hid me from the world, but not the world from me is one of the things I noticed. You know, I was seeing a lot of crazy violence, crazy extremism, fucking porn, terror, fear, you know, suffering all over the internet. It was just everywhere. You know, and that's more of a general problem with social media and stuff like that. But still, as you know, as a 10-year-old, you start to see that shit. You start to be online with all of it. And it's just not good. You know, I didn't feel safe in my planet. I didn't feel safe at school. I didn't feel safe with what I was eating. I didn't feel all of this stuff. It was starting to get really bad. You know, then it got to the point where I was beginning to grow older and share my life with this clusterfuck of whatever. I just wanted to say before I dive into my main points here, I spent a lot of time on these apps. I would consider myself savvy with them. I know how to use them. I know how to use the features. You could say I used to be a professional, you know what I mean? It was pretty bad. And my final take with these social medias is that they're dangerous, and I think that they can be amazing, obviously. They just need to be kind of talked about in this way, or we need to teach people about the potential dangers of these social medias. The worst social media of all by far was TikTok. I needed to get rid of that. I spent so much time on it. It was continuously just full on brain rot. You know, early on it was fun anime videos, some cosplay. You know, we were making fun of the military. Like, it was all great stuff. You know, after an hour of it, you kind of had seen enough and you had to get off. And even then, maybe an hour wasn't a lot. I don't know. TikTok became so mainstream and people started blowing up and getting huge followings overnight. Instant fame, and I loved that. And obviously, so did everyone else. But, you know, just like everyone else on the app, you know, I wanted to be famous. Obviously, there's live in this shitty-ass capitalist society in America, and so I wanted an escape from it. You know, I'd be famous. I'd become rich. Next thing you know, I'm out of it. At least that's, you know, what I thought. So I'm always, you know, thinking about what I can do to go viral, what I can do to blow up. You know, I started to give up some of my creativity to see what would feed the algorithms better, and it was fucking horrible for me. It was just really bad for my mental space and my creativity, and I wasn't doing anything for myself. It was all for TikTok. But the thing about TikTok is it has these really malicious algorithms. You know, there's this New York Times video done about it. I put the link in the description. It talks about it really well, how it siphons you into categories and labels. Your online personality, you know, starts to fall into these arbitrary labels, such as, you know, your person becomes labeled as like sad or a man or dumb Republican, whatever it is, and they start feeding you these videos that, you know, push you deeper and deeper into these categories because they know that you're going to keep being on the app if you keep relating to this content, whatever. And next thing you know, you're an algorithm, you're predictable. The way you consume things is so easily known to this app, and then next thing you know, you're just a number to be sold to an advertiser. And I felt like it was really dehumanizing. I think the main problem I had with TikTok was there was no end to it. You literally could doom scroll to infinity. Like, literally keep going. Instagram had a thing that would stop and say you're all caught up, and, you know, you kind of be done with it then. But TikTok never had anything like that. You just were thrown out and you could get lost in it, you know, hours and hours and hours and hours. Your day's just gone, you know. And as you scroll and you scroll, the algorithm learns you more. Each video becomes more personal. I was in a not so good spot in my life mentally, and TikTok really pushed me deeper and deeper into some of my darkest corners just with these videos that they would show me. I would start to think that these random people knew me, and I let them tell me how I felt. I let them tell me what was going on in my life simply because their video had 40,000 views. I feel like I let people on TikTok gaslight me and explain my problems away like that, and give me some sense of false validation. And these answers I found on TikTok that actually had nothing to do with my life, they just kind of related to me and had a lot of likes, so I believe them. I personally believe that no human actually knows anything. We're so lost in this world and our own human experience that anyone who really comes to you telling you that they have the answers for you, I just don't really believe it. And I just think that letting someone online tell you how your problems are to be resolved is silly, and believing them caused me a lot of harm. And I just wish I had known better. I wish I had trusted myself. It just pushed me deeper and deeper into some of my darkest places that I had ever been, and I wasn't really okay with that. One of the good things that came from TikTok, though, was that I liked reading. There's all these words on the screen. Sometimes I'd be reading essays, basically, of these dumbass stories that I didn't really care about, but I find myself engaged with these words like I'd never had been before. And so after I deleted TikTok, I kind of got into reading, and it's become a great hobby of mine. I really enjoy a lot of the books I read and a lot of the stories I'm discovering, so that's been a plus. I felt like TikTok was really hard to delete. I don't really have a good answer as to why. I just think it was because it was an addiction, but I was literally feeling every day like I was going insane. I don't know why, and like there was so much noise in my head, and deleting it, I just knew it would help, and it did. The next social media I want to talk about being off of is Instagram. And just to clarify, I wasn't completely off it for a year. I posted like 3 or 4 times and kept the app for 24 hours afterwards so I could respond to people's comments, and I actually found it was a very healthy way for me to interact with the app. I enjoyed it, and it allowed me the space I needed from it. Instagram was also really a time suck because you just would get addicted to the feeling of refreshing your Instagram and there being new pictures, or refreshing your Instagram and you having another like or something like that. And in your brain you get this good feeling, and you refresh and you get it again, or you scroll down and you get it again, or you close the app and you open it and you get it again. And you're just used to this refresh, new information, refresh, new information, refresh, new information. And your brain just loves the constant stimulation going by your eyeballs. I'm like, oh, look at this. Oh, like, oh, awesome sports. Oh, awesome politics. Oh, awesome. Oh, awesome. I wasn't even interacting with what I was looking at. I was just scrolling. You might even see people on Instagram, they just don't even seem to look at the pictures. I was doing the same thing. I would just scroll, and my eyeballs felt like they just needed the stimulation, and it was really, really bad. Not to mention the ads every 4th post. I felt like all I was doing was reading ads, and it was the worst thing ever. And I really needed to get off it. Instagram is great because you can post whatever you want. You post what you're most proud of, what looks the best, what you look the best in. But naturally, it would be stupid to say that I didn't do this, even though I was aware that it was something that happened. I was constantly comparing my life to everyone else's. And obviously, living in this pandemic in fucking bumfuck Skodak, and seeing people travel the world and seeing people have all this money, it just made me hate myself. My life sucked compared to everyone else's I was seeing. I wasn't seeing my friends' lives who were in the same situation as me just down the road. I was seeing whoever's life everyone else liked the most and got the most likes on TikTok, and it was or Instagram or whatever. It was just bad. I had an image of myself I wanted everyone else to consume of me. I wanted to portray this image on the internet and Instagram of who I was and what I was doing, and it just didn't feel real. I don't know, I stressed about it a lot, and it was just really taxing on my mental health. I love making art, I love taking pictures, I love it, but I find that before I would even post some of my pictures or share them, I would think of reasons not to because of what I thought people would say. I would shut myself down before others even could, and it was really damaging for my creativity, and I didn't like that. Personally, creating things is something that I really take to heart. I value the things I create. I put value in myself for the things I create. I think I have some ideas that are good to share, and so when I'm not sharing them, I personally feel just down. I feel not myself. I feel just lost, kind of. I don't know, not being able to share things, basically because I was afraid of what reaction I would get from other people when I didn't really care, when I shouldn't really care, because the people who want to hear what I have to say or see what I want to share are gonna consume it in the way that is best for them anyways. So even if I have some intent of sharing something and giving one message, it might give the complete other. So I just need to learn to, why not, share whatever I want. That's the beauty of all of this, That's why we've invented the internet and things like that. Like, who gives a fuck if what I share is bad, if I really love it? Like J. Cole said, I don't care that I'm broke, because in my mind, I'm rich with shit that I wrote. I felt like through Instagram and TikTok, I was consuming so much media that I wasn't even creating any. I wasn't contributing anything to these communities that I took such a big part in and took so much from, and it just didn't feel good. I don't know, it just felt harmful. A lot of this social media felt harmful. It was just horrible. Battles being fought online and all of this noise, and there's these echo chambers of hatred and anger, and there's this other weird side of this visually appealing activism that doesn't actually do anything, and it's like pick one or the other, and it just didn't seem to me like we were using these platforms for the right things. I just feel like educating people on Instagram about whatever hate you're spewing or whatever anti-hate you're spewing, it just doesn't work. I don't know, it clearly doesn't work, and I think we need to switch it up to real conversations and interactions. That's just how I feel about it, so don't cancel me. Lastly, I want to talk about Snapchat and Twitter. I don't really count YouTube as social media, so I'm not going to be getting into that. Snapchat and Twitter were nothing ever too horrible for me. They kind of contributed to the overall general noise that these social medias left in my head. Same thing, they contributed to that dopamine addiction, whatever that was, the stimulation. Seeing someone's face on Snapchat was always nice, or seeing you got a new post or whatever, new picture or a new tweet, whatever. But I had the same problem where I was thinking about images or memories I could create just to share, or ideas just to share, my thoughts. Oh, was that a good tweet? Is that a good tweet? Like, it's just crazy shit. I just felt like I wasn't being present and I wasn't living in the moment and all of that stuff because of these social medias. I felt like I was recording thoughts, ideas, pictures, videos to share instead of collecting them as memories for myself to have for the rest of my life. And I just think that that's where I went wrong. In conclusion, social media was just too big of a time suck for me. I noticed my screen time was up to 10 to 14 hours a day. It was horrible, literally 10 to 14 hours a day, and my life sucked at the time. I was in a horrible space. I was going through this, that, and the other thing, as we all were. Global catastrophe at every morning you wake up and something new is happening. But I couldn't tell if it was that solely or just the social media solely, so I got rid of the social media, and it helped. It helped a ton. It helped a ton. I was able to take a lot of stresses that the world was putting on me off of my shoulders and worry about my impact on my close friends, the world, etc. And regardless of if it was causing those issues or not, it definitely pushed me deeper into them. It didn't help. And I think as you're coming of age and learning new things and becoming yourself, as you always will be until the day you die, I think it's important to not have all of these ideas or pressures or thoughts that the internet can put into your head. It kind of blocks it out. It kind of blocks the progress that you need to make within yourself. It slows it down. It hinders it. It gives you obstacles, all of this. And I just think that removing them and figuring out yourself before exposing yourself to social media is a really key part into making sure and lowering the damage that can be done by these things. After all, these apps are designed to keep you on them. The apps make more money the longer you stay on them, and that's kind of what they're all about, and obviously they do a good job at this. They keep you on the app, but I noticed that as I was on the app longer, I was feeling worse, but then I would go on the app because it would make me feel better for a little bit, but then I'd feel worse. It literally was an addiction for me, and I just needed to get over that. And this year off has really helped me. And like I said earlier, I'm creative. I'm a creative person. I like to flatter myself and call myself an artist, however crazy of a term that may be, or fucking whatever. I can call myself whatever I want, But my contentment in life comes from the ideas that I share, the observations that I make, and the ideas I share, and the way I share it with people. And I could never really find a creative hole for myself to fill on these social medias. It felt like every crack and every crevice was filled. But then, I realized that nowhere had just me and just my ideas and thoughts and feelings and experiences, and I didn't know how to isolate myself from everyone else's without just doing just that and getting rid of all that. I've noticed that since I've deleted all this social media, I've had a lot more originality. I've had a lot more independence. I've had a lot more introspection. I've had a lot more really good quality time with myself in my head. I've learned how to be present in the moment. I've just learned a lot about myself, and that I'm not sure I would have been able to learn had I stayed using these apps in the way that I was. So that's kind of really all I have to say about this. I hope that all that I've had to say will help anyone who's maybe feeling not real, disconnected from reality. If you're lacking creativity, dissociating a lot, any of it, I hope that this helped you. I hope you can relate. My advice would be that if you're feeling down, if you're feeling bogged down, or feeling harmed, or feeling lost, or anything, I would advise you to get rid of some social media, lower your time on it, spend some time with yourself. I would recommend getting a journal. It's helped me a crazy amount. Write down anything and everything. An easy way to start with is just like a diary, make it like that. Today's February 25th. It is snowing in Maine. I sat down and played Mario Kart today and ate breakfast with my family, and I recorded a YouTube video. I felt happy because I recorded a YouTube video. Boom, that's all it has to be. And you just will write your feelings and explore your thoughts and feelings more, and you'll learn that, you'll get into it and whatever. But take a break from social media if you're struggling. Let yourself settle down, figure yourself out, reflect, and as always, just be well and be happy. Thank you guys so much for listening. I hope you guys have a wonderful day.